are back. Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our second segment, and this one is all about curls, all about Ikooma. Now, this product line is for natural hair made from seaweed, and we've got the proprietor of that business in with us, Jolie Pollard. Jolie, good morning.
Good morning.
Look at the curls, my goodness.
Thank you.
They say everybody here is supposed to have in 300 curls. You have in 301. You're doing something good. So
Can't wait
Jolie,
to tell you all about it.
yeah, we want to hear about it. So tell us how you've been, this business venture. Tell us about it. What happened?
Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question. I don't know where to begin. But I will tell you that August the 17th this year will make it 2 years that I've been officially in business. At this time, I'm still a solopreneur. I've been doing this all alone, but I feel like I'm getting ready soon to build a team and level up, because this has been so exciting, and it's been a fun journey. For me, along with my amazing customers. None of this would have been possible without all the people who've been trying my products.
So this is how we start, Jolie. What prompted you to get started with a business? Why did you start this?
Because somebody told me, hey, the stuff that you're making is really good and I think you should sell it.
Wow.
I never intended to start a business. This was just something I was making for me.
So yeah, this is what I'm interested in, and I'll tap into some of my little history that I know for you. So you're a writer, you studied journalism, but way back when, Jolie, you did do some science, and I remember that clearly. At what point did you tap back into those science and chemistry skills and figure out, I'm going to put seaweed in my hair?
I quit writing. I quit my job and I had all this time to myself. I started working as a waitress in the evening. My mom has a little restaurant here, and I was working with tourism and being the editor of a newspaper. I was under a lot of stress and I needed a break. And so I was working as a part-time waitress in the evening, and during the day I had all this time, and I just started getting back into that childhood curiosity that I always had for experimenting with things. I've just been reflecting on that recently, and I'm remembering as a kid being in the house, almost lighting it on fire because of all my crazy experiments in my bedroom. Yeah. And it's so funny to think that here I am again doing all those things. So I think I'm going back to some definitely childhood curiosity and that love for science.
And, I guess it had something to do with not being satisfied with your current products or the product line that you had access to?
Yes, I think, a big part of it is living in Placencia and living the village life. And honestly, I was on a very low budget. I was a waitress. I'm trying to pay my rent. I'm trying to pay my bills. I'm living on the bare minimum. And the thought of ordering hair products online or getting anything expensive was just never on my mind, and I would only try and get products that were readily available to me at the shops in the village. And being so conscious of the health of my hair, because I swim so often, I was swimming a lot, and I'm exposed to all these elements in Placencia: salt, the sun, humidity. I was just so determined to figure it out on my own and make something better than what I could find around me.
Yeah.
And then why or how did you figure out that seaweed would be the winning ingredient?
So this is so crazy, because when I first moved to Placencia and started working as a journalist, I was hearing about the seaweed farms. I attended a few meetings. I remember one meeting where Richard Harrison, the entrepreneur, had mentioned, we need to get into this industry, and he mentioned cosmetics. And at the time when I heard cosmetics and seaweed, I just thought skincare. I never thought hair care. And growing up, I drank seaweed shakes. I knew about it for consumption. My granddad made the best seaweed shake in Placencia. And so, my roommate at the time, she was doing some seaweed research, and we always had seaweed gel in the fridge, but we were using it to make smoothies. And one day we really were just playing around and put it in our hair. Like, it was just so organic, so spontaneous, as a joke almost. And she had lighter curly hair, looser curls than I do, and we both kind of looked at each other and was like, this is something here is really amazing. This is something special. And from that moment on, it just always crept into my experiments, and it was so non-linear, because I didn't like, after that moment, it wasn't something I kept exploring. I would still like buy another hair product because it takes time to do this, and I would get lazy and other things would happen in my life. And so that was around 2015, and then it just continued from there, and I really got back into it when I was getting ready to go backpacking. And that's when I said, you know what, I know all the ingredients that work for my hair, and I'm determined to make something really good for myself to take on this backpacking adventure, because I don't think I'll be able to find anything out there that will work. And so that's kind of, and that was the moment.
That was the first hair cream that you made for yourself to travel with.
Exactly. I had planned, the restaurant had closed, slow season in Placencia at that time. A lot of us tried to travel. So I had been saving my tips from the restaurant. I had saved up 2,000 Belize dollars, and I said, I'm going to travel for 2 months on 2,000 Belize dollars. Stay at the hostels, eat the street food, try to do everything I could. Yeah. But I went to, I was going to Guatemala, and so I just assume that I'm not going to find anything there for my curls. I don't know what I'm going to find, so I'm going to make my cream, and it has to be something that will last, and it has to be something that I won't need a lot of it. And I little did I know that I was creating something there that was that would resonate with so many other women who have curly hair, and especially people who travel. I when I was looking up online for tips with women, especially women of Afro descent, who travel and go backpacking, I started to learn that this was an issue for so many people.
Yeah. Well, and let's say this one time, because I don't want anyone to get confused. If we put Jolie up, so Jolie, half of your hair right now has your product and half doesn't. So let's not tell people which side. It's pretty easy to figure out, right? So you are clearly showing the difference between using your own product versus, does the other side have anything, or it's just natural?
It's just natural. I just washed it and conditioned it, and it doesn't have in much. And John mentioned earlier that he thought he didn't even notice, right?
I didn't.
And I think that is a testament to the fact that this isn't just a styling product to define your natural hair pattern and calm frizz, which are some of the styling benefits that we like. Not everybody likes it. Some people love their hair frizzy and wild, and but this is actually, Seaweed offers so many health benefits over time, and combined with all the natural ingredients that I use in the product, so it's actually beneficial with long-term use. So whereas if you are using products with a lot of synthetic ingredients, you might start to notice irritation in your scalp, or hair loss, or your hair thinning out. And those were all things that I had experienced before I started using my products.
Yeah. This is, and so I wanted to get that clear, because I know we're talking about your product, and people are going to watch and wonder why one side is different. But let's go back to the story. You go to Guatemala. You have your own product. You come back, and you say your friends start using it, and they encourage you to get this business started.
I had gone on another trip to Tulum in Mexico, and I was staying at a hostel, because that's what I afford, hostels. Yeah. And I was staying in a room with like 6 bunk beds, and this Nigerian German girl came in, and she told me she had run out of hair product, and I had my cream in an empty peanut butter jar to recycle my jars.
Yeah.
I had it in my bag, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take the bus and head back to Belize. You can have this. And she contacted me later because we had connected on Instagram, and she said, oh my God, do you have any idea what you have created here? Like, this is amazing. And I that was definitely the thing that was say, okay, I need to do this as a business.
So that's the defining
And naming
moment for
the
you.
product?
Naming the product, so that's such a fun story. It happened in 5 minutes or less. So I was brainstorming names. Like, I was thinking, because I'm a swimmer and I love being in the sea and I live in Placencia, I was thinking all kinds of marine themes and mermaid, and I'm thinking about all the phytonutrients of seaweed. So I had all these words on paper, and I was at my mom's for dinner having like conch soup or something. And I kept looking at this scientific name of the seaweed. So this is a seaweed. It's Ikuma isiforme. At the moment, the Placencia seaweed producers, they have two kinds. They have gracilara and they have Ikuma isiforme. And I kept thinking about the word Ikuma. And then I said, it's spelled Eucheuma. And then I said, oh, in Creole, phonetically, that would be Ikooma.
Yeah.
Ikuma. And I said, oh shit, that's it right there. Creole, honoring my heritage, honoring this amazing, botanical of the Caribbean Sea. And I just knew immediately that that's what I wanted to use.
And full transparency of your product ingredients in the label.
In the label, yes.
Just in Creole, that's all.
Just in Creole.
Your Creolized name, people word.
Exactly. I wanted to Creolize it, and I figured, no matter where this product goes, if it, right. Actually, I just sent it to somebody in Germany last week. It just makes me, feel happy inside to know that Creole is right there on the label, and you wouldn't even know.
But Jolie, you did mention 2 years ago you started this business, and
yes.
You gave us some stories, and I'm hoping those stories are actually 2 years ago. So since then to now, what has been the response like, especially here at home? Because primarily this is the market you want to touch before we venture outside. What has been the reception?
Oh man, it was an overnight sensation. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you from the moment that I made it and I saw what it did to my own hair, and you had something special. When this girl told me it was great, then a nurse that I knew came here and she tried it and said, I just went swimming and I came out of the sea and my hair was still so soft. Like, this is amazing. And it's just, I started giving away my products to people in Placencia, and they just contacted me on Facebook, and they were sending me their photos. I'm so thrilled. I'm like, this stuff is amazing, and that was so encouraging. I mean, if it weren't for that response, I always relied on feedback for things, and so that was super encouraging. And so from that moment onward, there were just other challenges to tackle until this point where it was like, okay, how do I preserve the product well and use the highest quality natural preservative to make that work? Because we were having like spoilage issues in the beginning. There was one ingredient that I was using in the preservation system that had irritated scalp for some people. So all those little things I had to work through. So if you're watching the show and you tried it when I just started it and it didn't work for you, I'd love for you to try it again, because it's evolved quite a bit, and I'm so pleased with it now, and so many people I just really like it.
You've also been working really hard to make it as environmentally friendly as possible, and that means that you also had to dig deeper, do more research. Tell us about that part, why it's important, especially as an entrepreneur, where sometimes going for the most environmentally friendly may actually make your job harder.
Yeah, even from the very beginning, how this whole thing started, when I was going swimming, the first ingredient that I looked up online was coconut oil, because I had heard coconut oil had, natural UV blocking properties. So, the sun kind of burns up your hair, And so it became an obsession for me to start doing research into natural ingredients and find out the powers of each one, and how can I stay away from synthetic ingredients? How can I stay away from mineral oils, petrolatoms? And so the challenge was, how do I get all of these natural ingredients that are environmentally friendly to play nice together? Because they don't always play nice together. Yeah. So it's like, how do I get this harmonious dance among all these ingredients? And so that's one, part of the eco factor in this product. And then, of course, just using seaweed and being the main ingredient is sustainably farmed in Placencia. So that's already a win. Yeah. The fact that it's sustainably farmed means that it helps, it regenerates, and more people will be able to use it and buy it and won't just disappear. And then, of course, we're getting to the difficult part, plastic.
Packaging, yeah.
So when I first started, I personally knew my experience buying products in glass containers, they always broke, especially your hands are everywhere, you're thinking something drops and breaks, and I was like, okay, glass isn't going to work. Yeah. And so I went for plastic reluctantly. It didn't feel very good. It beat down inside to go for plastic. Yeah. And then, and so that's when I said I have to find a biodegradable solution. And so one of my customers actually told me about a grant opportunity, a small grant opportunity to help with buying, just helping to reduce plastic in your business. And that's how I ended up winning a grant through the Commonwealth Litter Award, facilitated by Tide. And now I offer refills in these completely 100% biodegradable packaging. And I wasn't sure how the response would be, but the customers have really embraced it. It's the same high quality product. It just in a pouch, you can just tear off the top. It's resealable. Even the little resealable zipper part is 100% biodegradable. Wow. And so once it comes into contact with microbes in the landfills and the water, it totally breaks down. And if marine life comes in contact with it, they won't be harmed. And so all of that meant a lot to me. And so that's where we are now. But personally, like, in the future, I want to just completely eliminate plastic from the line altogether.
Well, I gotta say, those refillable pouches take you back to your original go-to. Those are great for travel. Yeah.
Yes.
Jolie,
people love it for travel because it doesn't take a lot of space in their suitcase. But, yeah.
Julie, I want to get to the various products that you've got, but I've got to say this. I'm listening to you, and 2 years, and you're saying all this. From now biodegradable packaging that you've got to the little bitty packages that you've got there as well, to zippers. Julie, this is what you call a blessing within 2 years, but with a lot of hard work, which I feel Belizeans need to pick up on, so they understand that it's not an easy, but it's what you put in to eventually reap what you've got. But tell us about the various products that you've got.
Okay, well, I have to mention about that hard work ethic. It's something that I never really realized before, but I think about it now. And as a journalist, as you all know, being in media, we work really long hours. Yeah, it can be a really thankless job. For me, putting a whole newspaper together almost single-handedly here in Placencia meant that I wouldn't sleep. Yeah. 14-hour days were normal to me. Organizing all these festivals, Lobster Fest, Art Fest, putting a newspaper together. I mean, I was stressed all the time. But now I'm able to use that work power and ability to hyper focus into something that I'm really passionate about. And so I think for me, I was very lucky to have experienced high stress and long work hours and be able to transition that over to this. Yeah,
that's basically your practice before our race. That's what I'm hearing there. But I noticed the different labeling on your packages. Tell us about those.
Okay, so again, this has even though I'm a solopreneur, a lot of Ikuma, my inspiration comes from my customers. So when I first started, I had my original Ikuma had a very earthy scent. Has still, because I still produce it, has an earthy scent. And a few people told me, my kids really don't like the scent. I'm so sorry. We love your product. I love it in my daughter's hair, but she hates the smell of lemongrass. And so I said, okay, because initially I was looking at all the essential oils that to me were the most effective for what I wanted to achieve in the product. Mm-hmm. So then I had to explore other scent options and other essential oils, and then try and see how I can be more inclusive in the line. And so my most recent product, for example, is a mango grapefruit scent. So it has a mango fragrance, and I thought it was perfect, celebrating mango season.
Yeah.
And it has grapefruit essential oil. And so that one is a winner. People love that one, and I know the kids who didn't like the earthy scent, they love it. And then another, and then again, going back to inspiration from my customers, people kept telling me that their husbands or their boyfriends or their son would be stealing their product, and they have to hide it from them in the bathroom.
Really?
But yeah. I have a neighbor who tells me her son is always stealing her product, and she has to keep it in a secret place. So I said, okay, I need to come up with a men's line so they can leave. They have their own.
So you did that.
Well, yeah, because long hair for men is in. A lot of them are rocking man buns and rocking their curls as well. So that's staying on trend there.
Yeah.
John can't understand this concept, but it is something that we see. But take me back.
You'd be happy to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
You'd be happy to know that it's for all hair types. So as long as you want to moisturize your hair or you want to give your hair some hold, you can do it naturally with Ikuma. So I definitely market the men's line to all men. Because I really want them to experience the benefits of using beneficial ingredients. A lot of times I think we kind of have this impression that men don't really care what they put into their hair. And they do, they experience dandruff and dry hair and breakage, and so I that's why I really wanted to attract them to this and have them, what I call, experience the seaweed difference, the seaweed magic.
So I want to get into one of the critical points. One, I think timing is everything too. Yes. This is a time where women across the world are embracing their natural hair. They're embracing whether it's waves to very tight curls. Let's talk about how people can learn to do your products, because any curly hair girl will know that what works for you doesn't work for me. What order I use it won't work for you versus what it works for me. So let's talk about the different types of curls and your recommendations with your products.
Okay, so I was genuinely surprised when I started and I saw that it wasn't just about my hair type. So I have what they would call, so the hair types, they start from type 1 and they go to type 4, meaning the straightest hair to the tightest coils, like little springs. Yeah. My hair falls in the middle, what we'd call maybe 2C or 3, right? 3A. Okay. So what I have noticed is that people of all hair types like the product. So it all depends on how they apply it. So let's say somebody with very straight hair, I live in the South. There are a lot of Maya women who live here. They love the product, especially because it just helps stimulate hair growth so much. And so hair a lot about, oh my gosh, my hair got so much thicker. It's growing so long. Because that's what seaweed does. Seaweed helps to hydrate our scalp. It has in fatty acids that helps to lubricate the follicles and stimulate hair growth. It also has a lot of minerals, which helps to it actually penetrates the shaft of your hair, and it aids in what is called hair mineralization. So that's what strengthens the hair and helps to prevent breakage. So it's really just a incredible product for hair care. And so, in fact, when I started doing this, I didn't even know seaweed was really used in hair care. I guess I heard about kelp and algae, and it just wasn't making the connection. And then I found out for centuries in Japan, people have been using seaweed in their hair for these same reasons, right? So, it works in all these different hair types beneficially. But for styling, I would say the response has been really popular with type 2 to 4A. So, my type ones, they need to just use just a little because it could weigh down their hair. And then type 4B and 4C, but really tight springy curls might find that it's not strong enough to elongate their hair or hold the pattern as tightly as they want. Okay. But the cool thing is that a lot of people have been, they combined it with some of their favorite products that give them those results. And then they are still able to enjoy the benefits of seaweed because they still want to get that hair nutrition.
And you have converted.
It's so versatile.
And you've converted quite a few women too. I know you took the time to reach out to curly hair girls in Belize, and you showed them how to style with your product, and you were able to showcase the results.
Yeah, and this is something that I learned. I didn't really know how to style my curls. I remember when we were in high school, we didn't have Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. We didn't know how to do this thing.
And curls were curls.
Yeah, and if you grew up in a household where people didn't have curly hair, you really were on your own, and that's kind of where I found myself. So in high school, I struggled, and it wasn't until much later I kind of started getting the hang of it. When I went to college in the States, that's when the natural hair movement was just starting. There were maybe 2 brands. So when I went into a store in Belize City last week and I saw the lines of natural hair care products, I was so blown away because remember, I live in Placencia, so we have a very limited selection. Yeah. So when I saw that in Belize City, and I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe the amount of options women have. But the fact that they still choose to buy Ikuma when they have all of that available to them, it means the world to me.
You've done something right there. That much I could tell you. But while time is just flying by like that, where can we find Ikuma across this country?
Okay, great. So let's start. While I talk to you, I'm going to start doing my hair because I promised I would
show us.
Right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So you want to divide it into sections. So you can, let's start with Belize City. In Belize City right now, I'm selling my products at the health store. That's on Central American Boulevard.
Yeah.
The health store. Yeah. They sell a lot of natural and organic ingredients. And so they've been so supportive. So you can get my containers there, and you can get them in the biodegradable package. Even if you just don't want to do plastic at all, you can just start with the biodegradable pouch, reseal it, and just stow it away.
Okay.
And then in Key Cocker, you can go to Purple Passion Beauty Studio. That's owned by Stacey Badio, who's a fellow entrepreneur. So we're all supporting each other.
Of course.
Yes. And then that's in Key Cocker with Purple Passion. And then in San Pedro, there's Melody Wolf at Melody's Art Gallery. She's supporting several other entrepreneurs there as well. In Belmopan, the same thing. Sadie Goodette at the Art Shack, another store owner who's selling a lot of local products. And then in Placencia, we have Nina Wallen at the Placencia Pharmacy, Lyra and Peter at Belizean Flavor. So, all these stores who are really trying to push Belizean-made products have been so supportive, and I'm just so happy to see what they're doing as well,
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm wetting my hair. So the product absorbs really well into the hair when it's wet. Okay. So what I recommend is that you start out with the cream. So this is the moisturizing cream right here. Okay. And so I'm going to take some of my cream. So this is what it looks like.
Cool. Okay.
And then to take a little bit. So we have this much. So you're not going to take a big scoop like you might be used to with other more synthetic products. Yeah. It's almost like a hair concentrate. So while it might be a little bit more of the price range than what you find in the shop, you definitely get your money's worth. So you put the cream in, and then now I'm going to apply the gel. Mm-hmm. This was the second product that I developed because I needed something to help with defining the natural hair pattern and preventing it from frizzing. So the cream helps to just keep it really soft, and it also gives light hold, and then the gel. This is the magic ingredient that no matter how humid the day is, if I go hiking in Coxcomb all day today, I'll come home and my curls will still be defined. and people love that, especially the tourists. I've met so many tourists who are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this thing worked in this humidity, especially if they've never experienced the kind of humidity we have.
Yeah.
They just couldn't imagine that there would be a hair product that would prevent their hair from poofing or frizzing up.
Yeah.
So, and it does all that without making your hair stiff, because sometimes when you want to get those effects, you'll find products that will leave your hair super stiff. And so what people like about this is that you still get that nice natural feel to your
So
hair.
it's still
and
bouncy.
it won't, you know?
Yeah. That's
Won't
cool.
feel like plastic. So there we go. That's the cream. I'm putting in the gel.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go.
I hope I didn't. So I mentioned all our stores. So yes, San Pedro, Peacocker, Placencia, Belize City, Belmopan, and I am always open to, if any store owners out there would like to carry Ikuma, I would love to talk.
And can we find you online?
Yes. So I'm very active on the social media pages. So Instagram and Facebook. That's where most people reach me. I have a website, ikumahair.com.
Okay.
And actually, I kind of lied. I said I'm very active. There are times I'm not very active because it's just me. And so that's the truth here is that this is not going to be sustainable as a one-woman show. And so Ikuma definitely will need a team. And I really hope that I can find the right people to help me one day. And hopefully that's soon.
Look at that. I'm just fascinated. Look at us. We're getting hairstyling tips from the creator of Ikuma live on air. And you're doing it just kind of like a regular routine. I do notice you're not doing a lot of the tips. You're not scrunging. You're not, there's no special comb that you're using. You're saying that just the products and applied in this way will get you the type of results that we see.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I do have all those tools. Like, this is my comb.
Okay.
I have my special styling brush.
Okay.
So when like the other day, I did a show and I really wanted all my curls to be perfectly defined. I can take some time. But honestly, most days, this is what I do. So you can still get like pretty good styling effects even if you don't have a lot of time. I think that's kind of partly why we go natural, isn't it? Yeah. I think some people have strayed from that. Especially young girls. I think there's so much pressure on social media right now to have the perfect curl and perfect definition. And sometimes I see all that and all the effort that they put into styling their hair, and I'm like, isn't this why we stopped using heat?
Listen.
So we can enjoy life and just get our hair done and enjoy the rest of our day. I mean, for me personally, that's how it works because I'm after the show, I'm going to go swim about 1,000 meters at the sea for my morning workout.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
then guess what? I have to wash it all over again.
Well, this is the fascinating thing because what you said, I have discussed with other people as well, that even with the natural hair, it's become such a process to get it right. One more question. For girls with mixed textures, that's also a difficulty too. The right product for the right type of hair you have. Does it work well for that?
Yes. So that has been really fascinating to me. Like, especially I think I have one customer who she has a combination of like 4A, 3C, and 3B. Mm-hmm. And so as the product is applied to each section, what it does, it just naturally holds the natural pattern, no matter which section it is. And then it just gives it a really healthy appearance, and they're just doing what they do, in their own way, but it just looks so hydrated and it stays. And so, it really, it's about embracing it's a natural way your hair moves.
With some natural Ikuma.
Yeah. I will tell you one thing that might surprise you, especially you, Marlene.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
I have people who blow dry and flat iron their hair and use Ikuma because they put the cream on their hair first and then blow dry it and straighten it, and they love it. So I'm hearing that the gel works really well before you blow dry your hair to give it volume and keep the frizz down. and so does the cream. So I didn't even think that was even possible.
You had me sold that volume, and I'm so envious of your shine. So, but listen, to everybody's watching right now, and I know John feels a bit excluded, but this is really a curly girl. You know, I hear the stories, I see it, I go through it myself. There's a giveaway coming up, right, Jolie?
Yes. Oh my, I almost forgot. Of course. Definitely.
We didn't, because our viewers love giveaways. So we're actually going to give it away at the end of the show. But just let us know what they're going to get.
All right. So I know Father's Day is coming up, so I had to include my Ikuma for men in this prize bundle. So here we have the Ikuma for men styling gel. Okay. Medium hold, natural shine, pattern enhancing, non-flaking, and alcohol free.
Sweet.
Does it all without damaging your hair.
Okay.
And then you also get a leave-in conditioner too.
Okay.
So you can play around with these in your hair, see how it works for you. I know you're going to love it.
All right.
And then this is the very new mango grapefruit.
Okay.
So this is I call these together my curl care system duo, because as you saw in my demonstration, they work so well together. So this is the moisturizing curl cream and the curl defining cream gel. So I'm giving the two sets together in today's giveaway.
All right. Jolie, we've been working on getting you here for a long time. I know you wanted to be ready. Thank you so much for telling us about your story as an entrepreneur, as someone. I mean, look at you. You're in a lab that you made in your bedroom. It just shows that anything is possible when you have the passion behind it. Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Best of luck.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. So there we go. Great chit chat there with Jolie, the owner of Ikuma. But we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll be venturing off. We'll be staying south actually, and we'll be venturing off with photographer Tony Rath. He is actually starting his new photo gallery. That's when we come back.